Hello and welcome to Survive the Unexpected with your host Frank Pacino and my partners in crime Amanda Bryant and James Hansen. And today for you we are talking about Survivor 42, episode 10, um, the Do or Die. And it came
Do or die
back.
episode.
It came back with such a vengeance that it amounted to, I guess, less this time around, but it still was a stupid twist and never should return.
So let's just talk about it. Like,
Yeah,
does
let's
the
get rid of
twist
it.
actually exist, or is it just rigged for television? Because I mean, it both
No,
times
she picked.
hasn't affected the game.
The odds
She
of
picked the one that she wanted to go away.
That's true, but okay, this is my thing. 2 seasons in a row, they have 1 in 3 chance of surviving. Both people do. It's really like
It's
the odds
weird.
aren't there. So I don't know. I just think it was
I just don't
dumb.
know. I mean, I think that this season was smarter than last season because last season we had 5 people that signed up for the do or die. This season we had 2. And I think if this season's smarter and they know that like this is a horrible opportunity. Like your whole game is up to chance. That's all it's
So
up to is chance.
with that being said, even like so, Lindsay and Jonathan, the only ones who do the challenge. As soon as Lindsay loses, she's saying how big of a mistake it was for her to do it. Like, imagine the situation where Jonathan was the only one who even like opted
Yeah.
community and he wins it by default. What?
Which we kind of was like we
It was a
almost
possibility.
predicted. Yeah, we
Yeah.
we we,
So
we kind of like tossed that around. We did say Lindsay was probably the most optimal person to do it, and then I thought
And that's
personally
why she
Romeo
did
would
it
have did
because
it.
she knew. Yep, out of everybody, she knew that she was out of everyone to beat Jonathan. She knew that she had the best opportunity out of everybody, and if she were to actually do it, that would be a huge boost in her game story, a
and
huge one.
even her doing it and not winning and still like making it through the awful like shitty twist, I think that's a step like that's a
Yeah.
notch in Lindsay's favor because she at least had the balls to like attempt the challenge, like take out this challenge beast, and no one else really did. So like I'm not all like voting for you like because you win challenges and stuff, but like Lindsay, like she doesn't fear anybody really, and she made a risky move and it paid off. But I mean, she tried on like a lot of the other ones, but I mean, it was smart for like Mike or Marianne or Drea with
Yeah,
her advantages, Omer. Like, I would have sat out if I was any of them either.
yeah.
Like, but
I think it was crazy
Yeah.
Romeo sat out because that man literally has like done nothing, and
no,
they
at this point, he's making fun. He's getting dragged
making
final
They
for
three.
did him
sure.
so dirty this episode. They showed him every shot. They showed him he was squatting, eating every shot. That poor
Oh,
man.
they had a 5-minute segment where they talked about Romeo doing
He did
absolutely
him
nothing.
dirty.
He
Just
has he's the only one
Literally.
that literally has zero chance to win.
zero the chance to win. There's no way he's winning.
Yeah,
Um, I think
There's no
despite
way.
production's attempt for us not to enjoy the season, I'm quite enjoying this season with the stupid hourglass twist again, with the do or die again. It's just like some of the things they've done that negatively impacted the season. Too many advantages. Now they haven't really affected too much in the game, but I feel like there's no reason why they should put another idol out when those 2 idols are gone.
no. So I think that
Right.
I don't think there's too many advantages. The twists are too like whack, like with do or die and hourglass, but hourglass is obviously gonna like fuck somebody, but at least like just like last season, the do or die didn't really come into play this season because Amanda has said it forever, and I completely agree. Like the final 7 vote, like they're trying to ruin that by doing the like do or die twist, and the
Mhm.
fact that it
The
wasn't
final
ruined,
9 vote and the final 7 vote are
yeah,
2 of the most important votes in the whole game. The
exactly,
whole
yeah,
game, especially like let's put it on an org standpoint, okay? Because like regular seasons of Survivor, they always do, what is it, 16 through 20, 18 through 20. They don't do more than that. But orgs will cast 24 to 28 if we're have wild hair up our ass.
yeah.
So imagine from 28 all the way to 7. and going out on a do or die. Like, it would make me hate Survivor forever.
Yeah.
It literally would. If I were to go out like that out of a 28, 24, 22 person cast, I would lose my mind.
Yeah,
I mean, at that
I
point,
think that'd be
you don't.
point.
And like, if I'm playing, I'm just not doing the challenge. But like, at that point too, like you said, if no one does the challenge, like if Lindsay didn't do it, Jonathan just would have won immunity by default, which would have been bullshit, really.
Final
Like,
seven.
yeah, final stuff.
Can you imagine automatically winning immunity from 7 to 6 without even trying because no one wanted to go against you in immunity?
yeah.
That's like the biggest target if I've ever heard one in my whole life.
My issue is that it takes a vote away, right? Lindsay is not allowed to vote or be voted for, correct? After,
Nope.
if I remember correctly.
No, yeah, you
So-
can't.
No.
She's
So-
safe.
so-
Yeah.
So you can't see 4-3 vote, and those are exciting to see. See half the cast get
Mhm.
blindsided. We're not able to see those kinds of votes with the do or die twist because it goes from 8 to 6 vote, two rounds in a row.
I do
And
think we still did get an interesting vote.
We did, and that's why I said, despite production getting in the way, we still are getting a pretty good season by the power of the cast alone and the gameplay that we're seeing. That's what's carrying this season. If this was, like I said, last season, you wasn't the biggest fan, James, but can you imagine if the cast was one of the worst casts that we've seen, like we in the past of 41 and 42? Like, if we had worse casts on both seasons, like these would have been like
Really
easily
bad.
bottom
Really.
two, not even comparable seasons.
Fucking awful. Yeah.
Yeah, but because there were standout characters in both these seasons, it helped save the seasons from being like complete dog shit. If we had shitty,
So
if
I
we had
will- so
bad and
far-
mediocre casts,
I'd say like
And I
41.
didn't hate 41. I didn't hate it.
I know,
I mean, is 42 better? I think we all three collectively can agree it is.
Way better.
way better.
Way better. But 41 still isn't bottom
It's not a
5.
bottom 5 season, but to me, it's probably like a bottom 10 season.
That's fair. And
It's like upper
I might have it
bottom 10,
between
right?
28. I might have it between like 26 and 30. Yeah, sure.
I have it a little lower, but I
Yeah.
do think that
Mhm.
I think the final 3 was really bad. Like, I think if Ricard had won, it would have been a little bit better.
But you know, you see what I'm saying though? Like, if we had really bad casts or survivors didn't go into this new direction with their casting, we could have had a really bad season.
Yeah.
Like, and
Yeah.
so thank God for some of these people that we have on this cast, because if we got the season back to back with 2 terrible casts, and we wouldn't even watch the show anymore.
Yeah. We'd be hoping for the
No, you're
next
absolutely right.
returnee. So I think
Yeah.
43 is going to be newbies again, but 44 might be returnees, I heard.
Yeah, I think 45 is the right number. If I'm
Sure.
doing the
We're gonna do
show,
it by back again.
say again.
40. No, they should never bring it back again.
Sorry, I know I'm not.
Bring what back again?
Do or die.
I hope they
please,
don't.
God,
Do or
no. They
die.
better not. They never not bring that
No.
one back or the hourglass. If they don't bring either of those back, we won't lose any
Well,
sleep.
now that like between 41 and 42, they didn't have like time to see it air, like the fan reaction. But the fan reaction was pretty like shitty. So, I mean, I
Right.
feel like they should have learned their lesson.
For sure. So let's just talk about the meat of this episode. And it was basically this season has done really well about highlighting different people in different episodes.
The editing's been very good.
Yes. And yes,
It
we
has
get to
been.
see who was on the chopping block pretty early on, but we get to see these ascends of certain characters. We've seen it with Jonathan early in the season. We've seen it with Omer during the season. We've seen it with Drea. We've seen it with Hai. We've seen it with Lindsay. We've seen it with Romeo in the earlier of the season as well. Like,
Yeah.
we've seen these ascends of power, and we've seen it with Mike this episode and previous before, of like showing what they're doing with their game. And it's great to see I think it's been on point to be able to show what they're doing with their strategy. This is the Mike episode, and it's pretty much centered around his point of view.
I think a lot of it has been too, and that makes me think he's not going to win. But like, I mean, he could. That like Mike has played a great game.
Mm-hmm.
I think Omar has played a better game, but besides that, I would say Mike has probably played the second best game so far.
Look, I think the only one I'd be
Mike
disappointed with
played
is
a
Romeo
better
right now.
social game
Than anybody.
right?
I would say Omar's right there because everyone trusts him.
Yeah, Omar's more like it's more strategic, I think. But
The best game.
Yeah.
He is.
Yeah. So it's
but he's socially aware. He's socially aware. He knows the strategic moves that he wants to make are not the best for his social game. And he knows that. And he struggles with the decision of, do I play this round socially or do I play this round strategically?
Talking about Omar or Mike?
Round was his hardest round for that.
Omar or Mike?
Omar.
Okay. I agree. Yeah, I agree.
Omar.
Yeah.
I know
but
I'm lagging.
I'm
going to leave and come back. Okay.
All right. We
Can I do that?
Yeah. So we get we start at the beach where it's Mike, Jonathan,
Drea,
Lindsay, and Omar at the beach,
right?
Right?
The threats, yeah.
And Mike pitches this final 5 deal, and he's like, "Look, us 5, let's just take Romeo out. This is where they bash Romeo, and
yeah,
they do him really bad. There's no way he's winning. I've never seen.
He's going to be final.
Like, he's
right?
going to the end. Yes.
Would you bet on like? I would almost bet you like $50 that he'll be final 3, and you wouldn't take it because you know it's probably going to happen.
Yeah, it's probably going to happen. Or the only way it doesn't happen is if he's like idled out or something stupid.
So this is my thing. This is what could happen. So next week, I think they could play Idle still final 5, but like within the next 2 weeks, like, all right, so Mike has an Idle still. I'm assuming. Wouldn't you think Omar's going to give the Idol back to Mike?
Yeah, if he didn't vote him out, I think he's going to give it back.
So Mike will have an Idol. Lindsay will now have an Idol because the amulet advantage. Drea and High are both gone. She's got the Idol, and then Marianne has the Idol. So, like, last chance to play them. They all play them. Say Jonathan wins immunity. That means either Lindsay or Romeo goes home that night. Like, there's, like, no... Or say Lindsay wins immunity, like Jonathan or Romeo, but one of them two go home. So if you don't have an Idol at this point, there's a chance you could go home at any point. But
right.
I think ideally people want to take Romeo to the final 3 with them.
I mean, they would be silly not to, but they're at the beach and Mike pitches a final 5, which everyone's like, yeah, of course, because you're not going to say no. And then he goes and tells Omar right away, like, look, I hope you're okay with that, but it's all BS. I want Drea out. And this is where it starts highlighting going to vote on Drea. And that's Mike's leading the charge on this vote. And he's telling people, like, I want Drea. This is when we go to the challenge and get to there was no reward challenge, correct? Like, I didn't miss that. Okay, there was no reward challenge. And they go to that challenge, they do the challenge, and they come back to camp. And that's where we amp up. Where Mike is pursuing everybody. Let's do Drea. And everybody's like on board. It seems pretty fair. And Omar's like, look, if Mike does this, he's gonna be in big trouble. He's gonna be seen as a really big threat, which is true. But like, I feel like towards the end game, you kind of want to be seen as a threat towards a little bit. But yeah, so it's all going that way, and they're telling Drea it's Romeo until Drea goes up to Omar and is like, hey, I'm going to steal Mike's Idol, and they're going to blindside Mike.
This is when the ball went into Omar's court. Like, he could have done what he wanted. Yeah. So, like, he could have sat on that, let Drea take Mike's Idol, voted Mike out. But if he does that, it looks more like Drea's move. Instead, he came up with another plan of his own. He's like, Mike's a huge threat, but Drea is also a huge threat. Like, let me get Mike to give me his idol, and then when Drea asks Mike for the idol, like he doesn't have it, she can't take it, and then we vote her out. So now instead of like if they had gotten rid of Mike, I think it would have looked a lot like Drea's move. But since Drea went instead of Mike, I think that it looks more like Omer's move, and he could argue that more, like build even more of a resume than he already has, like at that point. And he's playing a fantastic game.
Drea knew that too.
Yeah,
Drea knew that too and called him out right after she left. You know, she said, Omar's the only one I told, which I think is interesting because the show is not, they're not editing story. They're not editing Drea and Omar's relationship. So why would Drea only tell Omar that? It just doesn't make any sense to me.
I think it's because, like I said, I think Omar is doing a fantastic job.
Yeah,
we're not seeing everything. Of course, we're not seeing everything to this point where he's establishing these relationships. But yeah, Drea pitches this. He tells her about it. Me personally, if I'm Drea, I'm just gonna be like,
tell anybody about that, right?
I wouldn't tell anybody about it.
Yeah.
But to be fair, we've seen 41. She has not seen 41.
Yeah.
So we have the knowledge
we
of knowing about the knowledge of power.
About what happened with Xander and Lyanna. Yeah.
So he tells
Mike
her.
played it up well too. He did. He had his head down, looked like he was sad. Like he played it up well.
Yeah.
Whereas Xander was more like up front about it. Like, go ahead, use it. What if I don't have it?
Like, all right, so you guys know I'm a huge Mike fan and all, but like you were saying this is Mike's episode earlier. I thought that was more of an Omar move.
Really?
Than Mike.
I did too.
Because Omar had the ball. He's had the ball in his court every single vote. And they don't
every single vote.
They saw Drea as a threat. They see Jonathan as a threat. That Mike is seen as a threat now at that point. Omar has not gotten a vote cast against him the entire season. Like, I totally think there's a possibility he could make it to the end with like no votes cast against him the whole season. Like, I'm not saying he's going to get every vote at the end, but if he gets there, like, he's got all the moves to just back his game up. And I think it was more of a move for him than Mike because he could have done what he wanted with it because Drea told him that she was going to take Mike's idol, and he like looked into it and did what was best for his game. I mean, I know it was good for Mike's game, obviously, because Mike didn't really have another choice, but Omar had choices, and I think he made the right choice.
So me personally, I would have personally took Mike's idol and blindsided him. And then when Drea confronts me about it, unless Mike blew him up like Drea did, if Mike doesn't say anything, just be like, I don't know what he did with it.
But isn't there a much better chance that Omar goes next if he does that?
No, because he'll have an idol. He has an idol. If he makes
I mean, I guess he loses Mike's jury vote. I don't know. He wouldn't lose anyone else's, but there's still like, I mean, if the idols are good till 5, it's still like.
See, this is what I'm thinking. This is what I'm thinking.
I think he made the right move because people don't realize how good of a game he's playing. Like we do as viewers, but he's laying low enough now where I think there's people they think they got to get rid of.
He has an innocent demeanor that you know that
he's good. He's really
humble and down to earth enough.
Yeah.
I just look at it like this. Look, he could have stole his idol, right? If he establishes like we're seeing a lot of Lindsay and Omar edit together. I feel like they're a final 2 at this point. I feel like they're locked in together. I
like Lindsay. I think against some people she's got a good chance, but against him, I don't know.
I don't know either. I think it's up to the jury to listen to Omar's speech and listen to what he has to say.
I think
if he can present
I think he's
If
gonna
he-
kill it at Final Tribal too.
If he can
I think he
present it
talks
well,
really
I think he'll win.
Yeah.
But I think if he goes to Lindsay and goes to Romeo has nobody. He literally has nobody.
Mhm.
And says us three to the end. And he'll look at Lindsay and be like, look, we'll take Romeo. We'll vote out Mike this round with Drea. And then we can bounce around and either take Jonathan or Drea, or we'll take out Drea next round, or Jonathan next round. Jonathan wins immunity, we'll take out Drea.
Right.
Then we'll both have idols at 5, and we are both safe. I feel like they have a really good chance. And on top of that, Drea ended up using her extra vote this round, so there have been no more extra vote. Now nobody knows about Mary Ann's
Yes.
idol, so we can't play
Yep.
under the assumption that
That also tells me if
Well,
Mary Ann
Lindsay's,
goes to the end with the right
Lindsay's the one
people,
that did it,
I know she's been on the outs
right?
a few times.
yes,
What are you saying?
Lindsay's the one that has the idol now because she had the amulet,
yeah,
not Mary
yeah.
Ann.
I'm talking about, but nobody knows about Mary Ann's idol.
Yeah, but the thing is
No.
also
There's
like
3 idols right now in the game.
if they want to get rid of Mike now, they can't because no one can take his idol. As long as Omar gives it back to him, Mike is probably sitting at final 4. Yeah.
At least that's why I'm saying, and that's why I'm saying, who has a better chance of getting out? You have a better chance of getting out Drea and Jonathan the next 2 rounds than you do Mike.
Mike, yeah.
And we don't know what the
Right.
fire making situation is. Jonathan says he makes all the fires, so you definitely don't want Jonathan around for the fire making.
No.
We don't know if Mike makes the fire. He's a former firefighter, so I'm assuming he knows how to make fires, right? He's a former firefighter, right?
Yep.
I'm not imagining that. Okay. So we have assuming he knows how to make fires.
Yes.
So we don't want him there at 4. I'm taking him out at 7 and taking his idol.
Yeah, and I mean, you do you do think Mike is a threat to win the game too.
Exactly. It's not like you're taking out Romeo there.
Yeah.
You're taking out somebody who is a threat to win the game, and you take the idol, and supposedly you might have the numbers. Do you see Drea, Jonathan, and Mary Ann working to the final 3?
No.
No.
So I think
But
I
tell you right now, that Taku 4 right now has the numbers right now to vote. All that Taku 4 has to come together and say, hey, look, we're here. It's final 6. 2 of us have idols, right? Yeah, 2 of us have idols.
If that
You take
happens,
out Mike and
technically they
not
have
Mike.
3.
Yes.
3 of them have idols if they don't give out back mics.
if that happens too, Omar is easily winning the game. Like if it's
Yeah.
Omar, Jonathan, and Marianne, or like Omar, Lindsay, Marianne, Omar, Jonathan, Marianne, like any of like that combo, Omar is gonna win. So
I have this weird feeling that Mary
I
Ann
still
has
think
a really
I
good chance.
still am like hoping.
same.
I'm still
like,
really, really hoping for a Mike, Omar, and Jonathan final 3. I think Jonathan is 0 vote finalist. I can totally see that.
it would be pretty close between Omar and Mike. I think
Jonathan's going to give a horrible final
he's not winning. Like
tribal.
he's not winning.
He's not
That's
winning.
the only.
But like this is my thing. I could see like Omar and Mike going before Final 3 just because people realize they're threats, and then I could see like a Marianne or a Lindsay winning. Like I could see that happening.
Yeah. It's
Oh, I can totally see Marianne.
Yeah, and
100%.
Marianne
They've literally had the edit
she's-
for Marianne since the
she's
very
grown
beginning.
on me so much too. Like I think she's a pretty good player and like just a nice person too. So.
yeah, it's
She's a decent. She's an okay player. I wouldn't say that she's great, but I wouldn't say that she's terrible either. I think that I wish she had a little bit. She's got like the energetic personality. I wish she would take that energy and direct it into her gameplay, and she would be phenomenal. But she's so like bounce off the walls, chaotic that she just isn't like that.
I'll
She's
be
not focused enough to gameplay.
I don't know. Like I said, I think the move would get out Mike, but we'll see. If it comes up and it ends up being I'm wrong, I'll admit that I'm wrong. But I feel like that's the move, and that a move that could come back to bite him. Sitting next to like if he gets Jonathan and Mike at Final Four, and he has to go to fire against one of them, he's not winning that fire making challenge. And you have to think about that sort of thing going into Final Four.
Yeah.
You have to be like, who do I think I could possibly be in this fire making challenge? Now, you don't want to be in the fire making challenge, but you have to at least contemplate who I can beat going into that challenge, because if you don't,
Yeah.
it's going to come back and bite you. So that's why I think getting out Mike there would have been the right move. Omer tells Lindsay about Drea's power, and this is why I think they could have made that move, because clearly they're like this. They seem they're very tight. So
yeah.
I feel like they could have shot got it together and vote out Mike with Romeo and Drea, and then vote out Drea or Jonathan at the next tribal, and stuck it out.
It would have been hard to get rid of Drea the next tribal, though.
I used to that.
I mean, because would she have used the extra vote tonight still?
Yeah, because she was told by Omer and stuff that they were voting Mike anyways.
Yeah, I mean, but
Drea's problem is she can't keep her mouth shut. She has to tell everybody about her advantages. If she were to Troyzan that to the end and not told anybody about any of her advantages, she would have won this game. She would have.
See, even I just don't get the telling everyone about your advantages. Like, you're gonna tell your number one, that's fine, but like some of the even Mike, who I think's played a good game, like he told his whole pre-merge tribe about his idol. So they all knew about it.
It really didn't matter because everyone was going to find out anyways.
It didn't, because he wasn't going to get voted out anyways, but still, I'm not telling everybody like that.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. Like I said, I feel like they could have did something around that vote to get Mike out. And me personally, I would do the Savage thing, vote Mike out. Thank you for the idol, bro.
Oh, it would have been it would have been a baller move, but I mean, it was I guess with the only being 6 left after still, though, like he still might want to play it a little safer, which is why
you have only 2 voting rounds left.
I know, but it's like, I mean, Omer is
with the idol. Then you have 2 voting rounds off with 1 idol.
Yeah,
you have to survive 1 vote round, and that's it. And you know what? Yes,
sometimes that 1 round ain't enough, though.
Yeah, but remember,
one more round. You always say
earlier, though,
you don't.
If Mike goes, it seems like Drea's move equally enough, but Drea goes, that's like more of a nod for Omer than Mike. I
feel like he could have pitched that tribal or a final tribal. So if you got the final tribal, even next to Drea, I'd be like, hey, Drea told me about this advantage. She was going to steal his idol. I went and told him about what she was going to do, and I stole his idol before she could.
I mean,
and I kept the idol, and we voted out Mike anyways. This way, I didn't have to give the idol back. Then I voted Drea out. So that way, I covered all my bases.
He was still the reason Drea went home too. And
yes,
I mean, I wouldn't would you be shocked if Omer rallies people to vote Mike out at the next vote? I wouldn't.
It just depends on if he gives his idol back. Like, I just don't know, Mike. Like, Mike can get trigger happy, especially if
So this is what I think happens. I think gives his idol back next week. They vote out Jonathan, and then after that, Mike doesn't win immunity. Mike plays his idol next week, just out of paranoia, doesn't get votes, and then final 5.
No, it'll be final 4 then.
Mike anyways, yeah.
No, it'll be final 4. There's only 2 rounds left to final 4. They're at 6 now.
No, so I'm saying next week, Jonathan goes and he gets play the idol or something, and then final 5.
Okay, gotcha. And then get him out
Mike out. Or count that Mike won't win the fire making.
Question: Do you think that Drea would have taken Marianne's idol if she knew about it?
I think she would have rather take Mike's, but if she thought that Marianne's was easier to take, I think she would have. But
I think
I like Marianne. I think she's smart for not telling anybody about the.
I know she is smart. She is.
Yeah,
she's got a get out of jail free card in the next round just by keeping her mouth shut, which is what advantages are supposed to do.
Exactly. And
they're supposed to surprise people.
I'm not saying Marianne's going to win, but I could see her winning with the right people next to her.
Survivor nowadays, like especially new age Survivor with advantages, people use advantages now as bargain tools. Yeah. Hey, I have this. Let's work together so we gain trust and use this power together. Or there's the other side of it where you keep your fucking mouth shut and you don't say anything and you have your own back.
Exactly.
And then when you're in trouble, you'll have like I said, a get out of jail free card to not go to jail. So it's like, it's a fine line of, do I use this to gain allies and gain people, or do I keep my mouth shut and save my own ass? And both of those answers are great answers. It's just in the situation, which one is the best way to do.
Based on how the game's going for you, how you want to approach it, I guess.
Or your allies, or even your allies. That's why I was saying, I don't know if I talk about this with you guys or not, with like the hourglass twist. The hourglass, you can say no to the hourglass twist. I'm going to tell you why. Because say you're on the team that doesn't win, or you're on your own, but all your allies are magically on the same team and they win. Do you reverse that and put your allies in danger to be voted out, or do you keep it the same, knowing that you're safe because your allies got your back?
I am save myself.
Of course, most of the time, everyone's going to save themselves, but some social players won't. Some social players will.
I think it'd be suicide because it's not that only that you're just screwing over. It's not like you're at the camp. You're away from the camp, and you don't know what's going on, and it just changes the dynamic so much that you have no idea what's being talked about. You could be like, he or she is the easy vote because they're not at camp. And so I don't know. Me personally, I'm using.
Really doesn't do that a lot anymore, though.
They did with Erica.
Yeah, I guess they did do it with Erica.
We've seen it. We've seen it twice, and out of half the time that was the case.
Yeah.
So I'd rather not be part of that statistic. I'd rather just save myself.
Absolutely.
So.
I think that, I think it depends on your placement in the game. Say you're running the game and you draw that fucking gray rock. And you are kind of screwed in a way, in the sense of you don't know what's you can reverse it or not, but you're going to have a target on you regardless.
Yeah. So
regardless,
we got a good tribal. It was kind of up in the air. I felt like Dre was going home, but it was kind of up in the air a little bit on who exactly was going home.
I thought Mike was going home.
Really?
Yeah, I did.
I just felt Drea going home. It sucked because I like Drea. But I like Mike too. So
I like
either
Mike
way,
more, so I was.
Either way, I was losing somebody I enjoyed. So
I like, but like I said, besides Romeo, I love all these people left.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I think after Chanel left, just because Chanel didn't do it, like
Roxroy.
I don't know.
I didn't like Roxroy.
Oh, okay, Roxroy. Okay. But Chanel, Roxroy, and Romeo have been kind of the duds of the merge. I say, but Tori had her moments.
I didn't hate Tori, but I like, besides Romeo, out of the people left, I think I like all of them probably a little more than Tori. But yeah, I don't know.
But Tribal was good. I felt like Trey was going. James felt like Mike was going. We don't see somebody take a shot in the dark. Lindsay saves herself. Andrea ends up using her extra vote on Mike. So it was 3 to 4 vote. Or 3 to 4 vote. Lindsay didn't vote.
3 to 5.
No, because Lindsay didn't vote.
No, she voted.
Did she vote? I thought she wasn't able to vote.
No, she still voted, I think.
Okay. Well, 3 to 5. Sorry. 3 to Mike, 5 to.
Yeah, she was safe. She still got to vote though.
Yeah. Okay. So, everyone voted for Drea except for Romeo.
Yeah, and she used 2 votes on Mike.
And we got to see an eventful leave for a fun reason. She laughed and she said, "I played hard."
I love it that her
hugs.
So like I've been honestly like a bad sport about leaving games before. I try not to be, but like usually unless I just feel totally like betrayed, I will be like good move, guys, like whatever. Hai and Drea were like so like classy about leaving, and I liked that.
Yeah.
I don't think like I think last season we had a little bit of a bitter jury. I'm not gonna say Xander should have won, but like their jury was pretty bitter, and we've
Yeah,
had
I
like
can
a lot of
agree.
seasons, but this season I don't think the jury will be bitter.
No, Drea did kind of
They're
call
smarter than that.
she
Yeah,
did kind of call
They're
everybody
smarter
out
than
before
that.
she
Yeah.
left.
yeah, and then you know what else she said? She said like, "Good luck if you go to the end with Mike because he's gonna win like the whole game." Like, yeah,
Yeah. And he said, I'm the only one I told, which this is a good and a bad thing for Omer. She said that in front of the jury, in front of everybody who
Yeah.
played. So I'm the only person I told about my advantage was Omer. So if he does get to the end, he'd be like, "You guys heard this. I knew about it. I chose the way it
I
went."
was thinking that too. I was thinking that too, Frank. Whenever she did that, I'm like, the jury's right there. If Omar makes it to the end, he's going to be like, "Ha!"
Yeah. So that's a
You
big
use that as a
feather in his
bargaining tool,
cap.
and Omar's smart enough to do it.
Yeah, and Mike kind of got a little feather, and she kind of said, "Jonathan, I don't know why you're after me. I was never after you." I just don't think people see Jonathan as that big of a threat
he's
to win
not
the
He's
game.
just not smart.
not winning.
No.
His pre-merge was way better. Post-merge, like we see that he's not like a strategic player at all.
It's literally Colby in the Superman costume. It was Jonathan was Superman in the beginning, and now these days are putting a toll on him because he can't eat like he's used to, and he's getting hungry and angry and weak, and
so
they're calling it out.
I don't like hate Jonathan either. I think he's a good guy.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's great at challenges. He's like, I like him more than Joe, like some of the challenge, like Beast and stuff. But I mean, just with this cast who's very strategic, I just don't see him winning. But doesn't mean I don't like Jonathan. I just don't. Yeah, I think the edit has been down for him since the merge, and yeah, I don't. Besides Romeo, he's got the worst chance of winning out of anybody left.
Yeah, I'd say he's right above Romeo, and that's it. I think
The other four all could.
Yeah, we'll do our power rankings before we sign off, but yeah, I don't know. It's just Jonathan is his stock keeps falling. This episode he got another bad edit with him being grumpy and stuff like that, and which Lindsay wanted to target him. That he was a target for a moment going into the challenge. Of course, he won, so that was never going to happen. Lindsay wants to vote him out so bad.
And for a couple of weeks now, I mean, it seems like that way. And they were like number ones like before the merge, like basically.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think
but like Amanda brought up before, could you see that Taku they got 4 of the 6 of them together? Do you think they're gonna get together again?
I don't think so.
I think they will. I think they have a chance to because
smart.
I really do because Lindsay's already worked with Jonathan this whole game, and she know. Well, at the same time, the Taku 4 could. It depends on who wants to make the move because sending the Taku 4 to the jury might not be a bad idea because they could vote for you. You got 3 people right there that you've been with through the whole game. If you get them out without making it look like it was you doing it, you got 3 votes right there. I think that's what Omar needs to do is he needs to convince maybe make a deal with Mike and Romeo and be like, listen, let's go ahead and get Jonathan out. You know what I'm saying? And then, but when the time comes, be like, it wasn't my idea. My hands were tied.
It would but for Omar though, like who could beat anybody, that might be like his best case scenario, like final 4 or final. I think he could. I think Omar. It doesn't matter who he goes to the end with, as long as he gets there, he's gonna win. So just take the people who don't recognize that he's playing a great game and that they think they can beat you, but they can't. Like I think Omar can go with anybody, but I think he's gonna approach it that way, where he's gonna go with the people who he definitely knows he can beat, because that's just how he's been playing all along. He wanted to keep threats around, but at a certain point, he's not going to go to the end with the bigger threats. If he can't, he's just too smart for that.
Yeah. How many episodes do we have left? Do you guys know?
2.
So we're gonna have the final five, six, and then we'll have the final
Final
five at
six
the
and the
finals
final five is like the finale.
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 Okay. So,
And the reunion.
and then reunion. It's probably gonna be just as bad as last
Reunion,
season.
yeah, fuck the last season reunion.
Pizza, Mountain Dew, Pizza, Mountain Dew.
Yeah, just they don't have no time to digest what happened, and it's just.
Wow.
I'm not a big fan of reunions as it is, but
Yeah, me neither.
Actually, I don't remember if Mountain Dew was a soda. They had some soda, wasn't it?
I don't know what it was.
Whatever it was.
I don't know, but it was pizza though. I remember that. But yeah, that pretty much sums that up for this. But so, what's your guys' power rankings going into the last stretch here? The last 6 people.
Oh boy. All right. Well, I'll let you guys go first. Who wants to go?
I'll go. All
right,
go ahead,
I'll go
Amanda.
first.
All right.
Omer, Mike, Marianne, Lindsay, Romeo's last, obviously.
So Jonathan's fifth.
Jonathan, yes, 5, I would say. So it would go Omer, Mike, Marianne, Lindsay, Jonathan, Romeo.
All right, Frank.
So my power ranking would be Omer, Mike. I think Lindsay's played a better game than Marianne, personally. Then Marianne, then Jonathan, then Romeo. I think it's clear for me that Omer is just outclassed most of these people.
So
and-
I actually, Frank, I have the
Yeah, Mike.
exact same rankings as
you had the same
Yeah.
one.
So I'll say, yeah.
You guys were sleeping on Marianne. Marianne has played a great game.
I
She's
agree.
not
I agree.
strategic in the sense that
I
for
think
her personality being as loud as what it is, and for her to play such an under the radar game, how? Like,
yeah, I'll say Omer, Mike, Lindsay, Marianne, Jonathan, and then Romeo. But I think the last 2 have no chance of winning. I think the other 4 all have a very good chance of winning.
This is my concern with Marianne. If she's with the end with Romeo and Jonathan, I feel you. But I just feel like she's gonna be out talked by Mike or Omer at a final tribal.
Or even Lindsay.
If
I feel like
Omer
Lindsay
takes Marianne and Mike to the end, I could easily see him winning because I bet he could out talk both of them.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I think if Marianne's with the Omer or Mike, if she's with either one of those, I feel like she loses to those guys. And I feel like Lindsay has a chance. So that's why I think her best outcome would be Jonathan and Romeo, which I just don't see happening.
So I have an interesting final 3 proposal for you, where I think this would be the closest vote out of any of them. Mike, Marianne, and Lindsay final 3. I think it would be very, very close.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would think Mike, if he can argue it well enough, would win. But, I mean, it's a matter of that, too. Like, I think that would be an open final travel. Like, that could be like a China final travel where we have Courtney and Todd and Amanda, who are all really good players, who just, like, basically comes down to who's going to argue your game better. That's my thing with Mike. Like, I love him. And if he gets out Omer, he should win. But I don't know if he can argue it well enough. I don't know.
I don't know. I had confidence in him. I think Omer has a great.
Yeah, we could be completely fucking wrong. Watch it be a Jonathan, Romeo, Marianne final 3 or something stupid like that. Like, that would just blow my mind.
I think you
never know.
I think
You
Marianne,
never know, Survivor. Natalie White won a season, so let's just remember that.
But yeah, I don't know. Who's you guys' prediction to going home next round?
Jonathan.
I think Lindsay could go too. I really do.
Or Mike. I still think Mike.
No, Lindsay's safe, isn't she?
No. Oh yeah, she has an idol, but doesn't mean she's safe.
Yeah.
And Mike has Omer's gonna give Mike back the idol, I'm assuming. So, but
we didn't talk about that.
Hold it and go out with it, like.
Would you guys give?
Before we go, final 5. So.
Would you give back his idol?
Yeah, just because if you're in the game
I
with
would.
someone, it's kind of like awkward. Like, all right, what if he
Yeah.
doesn't give it back? Like, what is Mike gonna tell others about that? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
there's if he doesn't give it back, Mike tells everyone else about that, and then Omar just looks like a fucking complete like scumbag after that. I don't know. Like, it was still a good move for Omar, even if he gives it back to Mike. I don't think Omar is going home this week or next week unless like just idols galore, which could happen, like,
Think
and make
about
him
it.
vulnerable.
Like look at this. Look at this. Let's just throw this out there for a moment. We have Lindsay has an idol. Mike has an idol. Let's say
Marianne,
Marianne has an idol. Let's say
Jonathan was
Jonathan.
community.
Let's say Jonathan goes home this round.
Yeah,
Hypothetically, goes home at
And we
5
got
when everybody can use their
Romeo
idols.
and
And what if Romeo wins, and then Omar is out because everybody else has an idol?
yeah,
that I would
could see it.
cry.
That would
That's
be
a
tragic.
realistic.
I would cry.
That's a realistic. Or say they take out Romeo next round, and it's Jonathan, and Jonathan wins, and then Omar is out by default. And then look back at this vote and tell me voting out Mike wasn't the right decision if that happens. So I don't know. That's terrifying to think about.
So I will say, like, so do you guys think Mike's strategic game is like that good? Because I think it's all right, but I think Mike has played the best social game this season.
Yeah.
Because I mean, just look at it. Like, his original tribe, they never swapped. He lost 3 people before merge, and like he gets to merge, and literally everybody wants to work with the guy because he's just such a good guy and like likable. I mean, like I said, his strategic game has maybe not been the best, but I think it's been okay. Like, Drea even said on her way out, like, you guys let Mike get to the end, he's gonna win the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've seen a lot of people have.
I think Mike has a very, very high shot of winning the game. I
I
bet
hope
some people's
so.
power
I
rankings
like him a
would put
lot.
him over Omar.
So I heard a lot of people complain about this. Do you care that she stood up and told everybody what she said?
No.
I
No.
If whispering
No.
is allowed at tribal council and you can get up and talk to people, I think that should be allowed too.
As long as it's before you get
Absolutely.
your torch stuff. I think you can.
Yeah, you have to do it before your torch gets snuffed, I guess.
I do love the embrace because her and Mike did have a great embrace afterwards,
That was
and
cool.
she smiled.
I love,
That was cool.
like I said, Drea was such a good sport about it. Like, she could have been super
so-
sour about everything.
And Mike was too
The
this
way you're
round. I hope
supposed to be. That is the way you're supposed to be. If you take it personal, if you take a game personal like that, you shouldn't play.
I hope
Especially
that
if you're like, you have the opportunity of a lifetime to like be on that show and
Be humble
you
about
make
it.
it that far and still gonna be like sour about it. Like, yeah, I just no.
just
I'm
my
glad
thing.
that like Hai and Drea played it. Like, they were such good sports about it, I think.
Yeah, I think I just don't want to get another starting Survivor episode where Mike is like, she got what she deserved, like he did with Mike this or High this
With
episode.
Chanel.
Yeah,
And
and with
Chanel.
Chanel. Yeah, I just hope we don't get that because it puts a sour taste in my mouth because it comes across self-righteous, and no offense, but he shouldn't feel that way at all.
No, not at all.
So, yeah, I don't know that it was a good episode. I feel like it's been a really good season. I don't know where to place it as a moment. It's not like an all-time great.
Once you get a winner, we can rank it and
Right,
see the
right.
finale.
Right.
I had said so far I would put it in a top 15. Not
I'm
top 10, but a top 15.
Right there with you, 100%.
Mhm.
I'm a little lower than you guys, but I'm not that much lower. I'm like,
I think that on a rewatch it would be fire. If you could watch it all the way straight through, I think on a rewatch it'd be really, really good.
I think if you take out the Hourglass, the Do or Die,
Yup.
the and just take those out, those two things out, and maybe take some of the advantages away, which really they haven't amounted to much. So, all right, just take those two things out, it really it enhances the season a lot. And yes, it does change the outcome a little bit, and Lydia stays. But like, who knows? It's not like none of us hated. It's not like any of us hated Lydia. So like, her
She wasn't
staying would
gonna
have been a bad
win.
thing.
She wasn't gonna win either. Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
but like,
Yeah.
who was the option to go there with Chanel, right? So like,
Yeah.
what if Chanel went there? Like, we would
Wouldn't
have
have
got
made a difference.
right, and it just wasn't fair to Lydia and those guys to go through that. But yeah, that's so it would have been nice to take those things out. Take those things out, and makes a huge difference. Please, no more do or die too. No more what was the one Drea just used? I'm drawing a blank here.
Damn, so I just had the episode on again. The
Yeah.
next time thing on Survivor just came on and Mike said Omar is next. Did you guys ever see that or no?
Omar's gonna literally like spin Mike around in a circle and just make him walk the other direction. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what's gonna happen. Like Mike's gonna come up to Omar and be like, "I'm gonna get you out," and Omar's just gonna like spin him around real fast so he's dizzy and just make him walk away. Like that's what's gonna happen. Like Omar's gonna totally out strategic Mike. He already has twice.
Yeah.
Like, Mike is cutthroat. Like they're both cutthroat too. Like pretty much.
If Mike votes out Omar, I'm gonna be on here next week and be like, I told you guys she voted out Mike.
And you'll say Mike should win if he gets to the end.
Yes. But I feel like if Omar somehow gets to the end, he will be an all-time winner.
I'm rooting for him. So I'm Omar, Mike. Like I'm pretty much team anyone besides Jonathan or Romeo. But I mean,
I normally don't root for stuff like this. But I feel like if he can get to the end with no votes and get to the end, keep playing the way he's playing, and he wins, gets every vote, I'd be extremely happy. Not because I personally like him, but because the game warrants it. So, and it'll be another perfect game. Just something that we haven't seen in a long, long time. So, but I think that's about covers it for us. We are going to finish Survivor Marquesas here soon. We're going to do the last block of episodes, and it's 10 through 15. We are not doing 9. 9 is just a recap episode. Danny Pete is going to be joining us. He's a huge fan of Marquesas.
Favorite season is Marquesas. So
yeah.
Wow, I'm interested to see what Danny has to say. Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Me too. We are now on Spotify, YouTube, Podbean, and iTunes, so you guys can listen to us anywhere of those locations. Yeah, thank you guys for watching and listening. We really appreciate it. If you can give us a like, comment, subscribe, it would mean a lot to us. We're gonna keep chucking away at this, and we'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.